Welcome back. Well, organizations like the C Center for Young Black Professionals has been working for years to provide support and resources for Black youth, giving them opportunities that were never presented to them, as well as breaking down those barriers they're facing along the way. Well, now 10 years later, the center is expanding, a bigger space, more programming and training. Agapi Gisesi joins me now. Agapi is the executive director of the C Center for Young Black Professionals. Agapi, it's great to see you again, and congratulations on 10 years.
Oh, thank you so much, Angie. It's great to be here with you.
Talk to me about what that journey has been like and what it has meant for the community to have a resource like the C Center.
I think the journey has been an interesting one. I often say that we are a series of learned lessons. And
Mm.
as we're trying to break down barriers socially as well as economically for young folks, particularly Black folks in this country, really have to look at learned lessons and reinvent ourselves whenever we see a new opportunity for growth and to better serve the young people in this country.
Are the challenges the same still? Are there more added challenges? Are things better?
Well, I think statistics have shown us, particularly lately, that the longer Black population is here, the worse off we're becoming. And
Mm.
so if you look at third generation young folks, they're actually far worse off than their parents were when they first immigrated to the country.
Hmm.
And so we actually have a lot of work ahead of us to learn how we're going to help those young people navigate and grow their careers and make it sustainable, not just for themselves, but also for their families as they grow their families in this country for generations to come.
Talk to me a bit more about that in terms of what more needs to be done beyond organizations like yours, independent organizations doing the independent work, reaching out directly to the communities versus sort of the broader range where there has been the call to say those resources still don't exist for, we know, the BIPOC community. Let's generalize it here,
Yeah.
or put it under a larger umbrella, when it should. Hence, various communities sort of pull together and say, okay, we're now going to provide these resources for our community members. What more do you want to see being done on a broader range?
Oh, completely. The reality is we need to be working ourselves out of a job every day,
Yeah.
right? Like we've been around for 10 years. We shouldn't want to be around for another 10 years because if we don't exist, then those systemic barriers have been lifted and our young people can thrive on their own merit. And really, organizations like ours are helping them navigate a system that is systemically racist.
Hmm.
And how are they going to be able to have those tools? And so, on a broader scale, we need to be thinking about how government, corporations, us as a society, as an on an individual level, can really change our biases about what Black youth can do and cannot do.
Hmm.
And also, if we look at the statistics, we're represented in all of the wrong areas, but we're a very highly educated population, and so we need to start to examine hiring practices, how people are recruiting,
Hmm.
how we are giving access to different, particularly the Black community, when it comes to resources, social capital. All of these things are factors and they're systemic in the way our society works. And so we all have to wake up and figure out how
Hmm.
can we make the most vulnerable of folks accessible, our society accessible to them,
Mm.
because in turn, all of Canada is going to really benefit.
Before I let you go, of course, this being Black History Month, but I don't equate it to just one month. When you're thinking of Black history, when we're thinking of those celebrations, but as we're having this conversation, what's the focus? What are you focusing on?
I'm definitely focusing on an assets-based conversation, right? I think often Black history is Canadian history,
Hmm.
right? But but we also have to understand that Black history to us as a people is our ancestry, our joy. Whereas Black history in a Canadian context often is talking about the colonial uh, depression of our people,
Right.
right? And so we often, when we're talking about Black history, yes, we want to look back and we want to look at what that looks like, but we also want to celebrate
Mm.
because there's so much more to our community. We're a diverse population. There's people from the Caribbean, from Africa, from the continent. There's so many, there's a diverse, you know, span of where we all come from, and celebrating our ancestry and where we come
Hmm.
from is really what I'd like to focus on, and not so much on the colonial
Hmm.
effects of of what has taken place in this country.
Absolutely. A smart, talented, incredible group of people, and that's something that should be recognized through and through. Agapi, it's wonderful to have you on this. Congratulations on 10 years. Like I say, it's an incredible resource, the C Center there, but to your point there, this should be something that is accessible to everyone and, you know, not something that independently organizations like yours have to put forward. Agapi Jasesi, the Executive Director of the C Center for Young Black Professionals. Thank you again for this, Agapi.
Thank you.
You're welcome.